Ajoy, thanks so much for joining us. It is the season, and we know you've also been busy celebrating. Tell us, what's the mood like this time around? Have we fully recovered? We've been watching the earnings calls, of course, but I want to get a sense of the festive mood from you and really how you're seeing some of those, numbers take post the COVID worries receding.
Yeah, I think the festive mood is on. I think everybody in the jewelry industry and category are smiling. I think it's been a challenging period for many retailers across in the first quarter of both years, last year and this year, and having lost out on Akshay Tritiya, etc. But like last year, in fact, festive was very good. I think every jeweler was happy and they went back smiling. And we also saw a very good growth last year in the festive period. We saw a 16% growth last year over the pre-pandemic. So things had positively turned. Uh, Thereafter, in quarter two, as we have just declared in our quarterly results, we've seen very good growths, both over last year and significantly over even the pre-pandemic quarter two. Even over a pre-pandemic period, we have seen a 60% plus growth in retail for the quarter two, which we just declared the results. And as we enter into the festive period, starting Navratra, Pujo, and then Dashara, Diwali is to come. I think it's been a very positive mood. We are very happy with the kind of response we are seeing for all our brands, whether it is uh, Tanish, Carat Lane, Mia, Zoya, and I think overall the industry also is being seeing that.
So where is the action coming in, Ajoy? Is it online? Is it at physical stores? Where's the rebound coming in terms of segments, in terms of
I
distribution points?
So I think the action is on all fronts, okay,
Okay.
which is a good thing. Uh, Online, offline, and online, both. Online, of course, is continuing to grow at a faster pace. So when I say online, I would say online plus remote shopping, which is through video calls, with through endless aisle. So the entire digital and new age way of buying, I think that continues to show a fantastic growth, many-fold. But even offline, I would say across all our touch points, we are seeing a very strong business growth. I won't call it recovery. And if I were to even look at across price bands and across different types of brands, so all around there is a positive recovery, even across gold jewelry as well as diamond studded jewelry. We are seeing, so whether you look at it from a channel perspective or a product category perspective or a geographic perspective, on all fronts, there is very, very good growth.
And what about the kind of, you know, the size of purchases? Is it luxury, affordable luxury? Again, is it across all segments? Share with us, is there any
Yeah.
shifting trends that you're observing now in the post-COVID period?
So we are seeing growths across categories. If I look at brand Zoya, for example, it is in the luxury space, and we are seeing growths across price bands and price points. In fact, perhaps driven partly by the new collection launch that we've had in Zoya through Libera, but we also had another collection which was launched earlier on in the year called Samave, which was a signature collection with a specific setting. So those are in the luxury space. If I go to Tanish and look at it, uh, even below the 2 lakhs price band or between 2 to 5 lakhs, we are seeing very good response in both. And now over the 5 lakhs, in the more recent past, let's say last few months, we are also seeing good traction build up in the high value, which is greater than 5 lakhs. And if I look at Mia, which is really operating largely in the sub 50,000 or even Carat Lane, there is very handsome growths which are seen there as well. So, each segment, I think there is a lot of excitement. And even, personal adornment versus buying for gold as an investment, I see it. I think adornment is standing out well, though in India you can't take away the value of gold from jewelry, because you can't separate this is only adornment and this is investment, because every woman who's buying it for adornment also justifies it as it's conversion of wealth
Okay,
from
true.
one form to the other. But I'm seeing a lot of traction in the adornment space, thanks to diamond-studded jewelry, thanks to new collections. Like I said, we have launched Samave and Libera in Zoya.
And have, the kind of consumption patterns changed in terms of the demographic, in terms of like what's driving this optimism? What's driving the spending? Is it coming from a certain segment of the demographic that's perhaps been sort of benefiting from some of the opportunities that have resulted in the post-COVID era? For example, we are seeing urban professionals across certain kinds of companies, that have, of course, withstood some of the hits that COVID has otherwise caused other segments. What are some of the insights that you've observed?
Yeah. So I think the jewelry category has gained from couple of things which is unique to the category, and then I'll come to specifically what else on demographic. There is certainly there has been some amount of pent up demand which has flowed in. Okay, so that now how long that lasts is a question mark, but we have seen that even last year, let's say after quarter one and a little bit of a disrupted quarter two, quarter three, quarter four saw a fantastic growth. So that was some amount of pent up demand and maybe some deferred demand. We have seen that again this year from quarter one, which was disrupted. Quarter two has been a fabulous growth. So that's one piece. And personal milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, uh, celebrating occasions, however small, including, I would say, small festivals. During quarter two, we had many festivals like the traditional ones like Varamalakshmi or Raksha Bandhan or Tej. At every instance, we saw customers were very happy to celebrate whatever they could celebrate. The
Sure.
second piece that I'm seeing, I think it's a question of the jewelry category gaining share of wallet, uh, partly because people have saved up a lot of money over the last one, especially let's say the target audiences we serve. I mean, certainly the luxury end as well as the upper middle end. The those that cohort those cohorts have certainly saved up a lot of money over the last 1.5 years or so, because the opportunity to spend was limited. And even now, as we see, international travel is still very, very restricted. Even domestic travel opens up in patches. Eating out has been subdued. People spends on other categories like apparel or movies, and other experiences have been restricted. So there is a share of wallet gain. And even now, when we see, automobiles and consumer electronics, they are impacted by chip shortage and other supply chain disruptions that are there. So somewhere, I think there is a share of wallet gain for jewelry due to many of these factors, and the fact that the jewelry doesn't depreciate in value; it appreciates in value over time. So that's there. Now, over and above that, I think what has also worked and is working well for jewelry, and we are seeing it in our system as well. Gold prices have kind of stabilized and tempered down. They had jumped up, and if I look at, they've remained within the psychological mark of around 4,500 rupees a gram, and people are used to it. So they have. We find many dormant jewelry buyers have come back into the market, and we are seeing that in terms of sheer, contribution of people who have not bought in the last 1 year have come back, and we measure that separately. And the other area that I'm seeing is weddings. So a lot of people have deferred a lot of these activities, and now they are no longer wanting to defer because they don't know what will happen in wave 3 or wave 4. They've had it. They said, we will do what we will do, and therefore we will buy and we will go ahead with having our occasion. So a lot of weddings have been lined up over the next 3-4 months. So I think all these, let's say, forces are at play, which is driving the surge in jewelry demand. Besides the general interest in gold as a inflation hedge, that always remains. Gold, I think, gold has got its own dynamics. So this is what is driving us. And in demographics, I can't say if any specific demographic. Certainly, the upper middle and the higher end customers are not being impacted on an economic perspective, and that is whom we target. So Zoya, for example, is targeting a luxury customer, a HNI. I think most of the people have made a lot of money in the stock market and they've not spent money on international travel. So, and jewelry is a self-expression. So they have celebrated milestones like, like never before.
You've given us such a nice holistic view of what's happening and really touched upon some key factors. I love what you said. Everyone's made a lot of money in the stock market, that's for sure. And even on your stock. So, talking about the revival and sustaining it, as you said, you have, these new collections, which are very exciting, especially with brands like Zoya. Going forward, how are you already strategizing on how to kind of keep the momentum going, Ajay? Because it's been such a strong rebound. Things are looking so good across segments, like you said. There are some minor fears about a third wave, but other than that, do you see the rush cooling off slightly, or do you see any threat of a slump as such?
So we cannot predict how things materialize over a period of time. There is always now this AY 4.2 and how many cases, and we are seeing in Europe stuff happening. So I think first and foremost, let's be honest, we don't know much about it, right? The humanity is figuring out things, and this little virus is teaching us a lot of lessons by mutating. So we have to be alert. I don't think so. Safety and ensuring that we don't compromise on people's safety. Continuing our efforts on the digital front so that remote shopping, those who are, let's say many of our HNIs have been very cautious, whether it's Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, and therefore a lot of our digital initiatives and remote contact and remote shopping, even try at home, has worked very, very well for us in Zoya as well as for Tanish, but much more in Zoya. The third thing that we are seeing is however, we also know that the mood and sentiment is very positive. Even if a third wave does come, the general view, because of the vaccination status and the speed at which we are going about doing it in the country, has left us with a very positive state that even if it does come, it may not be as severe as it was earlier on. And, once bitten, twice shy. I think all the governments are ready for a quick, rapid response in case there is any. So keeping that in mind, we are saying that the opportunity to continue to invest in the business is very high. So we are expanding. We are looking at adding more stores. So for example, in Zoya, we are expanding through both routes. We are opening up Zoya galleries in different cities. We've got, I think, 7 galleries which we've opened in the last 1 year, and we hope to add another 4 or 5 more into other cities. We are expanding stores. So we are currently we have 4 exclusive Zoya boutiques, and we are looking at adding at least 2, maybe 3 in the next 5-6 months. Work is on. In Tanish, if I were to give you another perspective, we've added 5 plus 7, we've added 5 plus 10, 15 new Tanish stores in the first half. We've added 8 more in October itself. So we are at 23 as we speak, additions for the year, and hoping to add another 13 more. So we are expecting to, pretty much have the highest number of store expansions in this financial year as we speak. The second level of investment is marketing and product collection. So as I said, we are not holding back on any new product introductions and collections. And we are also investing strongly in marketing campaigns across our brand. In Zoya, you might have caught a lot of it on print in the last few months, and it will continue. In fact, we have some very exciting collections and campaigns planned even after Diwali.
Okay. Great, Ajoy. Thank you. It was a pleasure chatting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's in store. And congratulations on the latest set of numbers. It really is looking fantastic, and we wish you all the best this Diwali. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.